Hi, I'm Paul Kyogan from GK Tuition, and in this video I want to talk to you about differentiation from first principles. Now the question that I've chosen to go through here is 2016 Paper 1 Question 6 Part A. In this question we're told that f of x is equal to 2x plus 4 to be squared, and we've been asked to differentiate from first principles. So it's important that you know each of your steps required for differentiation from first principles. In these questions, the left-hand side is just as important as the right-hand side, so make sure you're writing out the same as what I do on the left. The first thing I did was I multiplied 2x plus 4 by itself, and I got 4x squared plus 16x plus 16. Now the second step in differentiation from first principles is to get f of x plus h. Essentially it just means everywhere there was an x on the previous line, I'm now going to sub in x plus h. So rather than 4x squared, it's now 4 times x plus h to be squared. Rather than 16x, it's 16 times x plus h. On the next line, I multiplied x plus h by x plus h, and I got x squared plus 2hx plus h squared. And then I multiplied 16 by x plus h, and I got 16x plus 16h. I multiplied 4 by these three, and I got 4x squared plus 8hx plus 4h squared. So that's my f of x plus h simplified fully. And the next line then, the next thing I want is to get f of x plus h minus f of x. Which means on the next line you'll notice here that I'm subtracting f of x. So instead of plus 4x squared, it's minus 4x squared, it becomes a minus 16x, and it becomes a minus 16. Which means that I have 4x squared minus 4x squared, 16x minus 16, and 16 minus 16. So 3 of my terms are gone. And now I can say that f of x plus h minus f of x is 8hx plus 4h squared plus 16h. My next step is to get f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. Or in other words, take each term and divide it by h. 8hx divided by h is 8x. 4h squared divided by h is 4h. And 16h divided by h is 16. And then the very last step, or your final answer, is to get the limit as h approaches 0 of everything that we have previously. So to get the limit as h is approaching 0, basically it means that h is getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. It's getting so small that it might as well be a 0. It's not actually a 0, but it might as well be. But for the purpose of doing this question, we treat the h as if it is a 0, which means obviously 4 by 0 is just 0. So my final answer in this case is 8x plus 16. So that's my final answer. And I do want to stress that the left-hand side is as important as the right-hand side in these questions. Make sure at some point you've written down f of x plus h, f of x plus h minus f of x plus h minus f of x over h, and then finally the limit as h approaches 0 of everything we had previously. So again, I hope this video made sense. If there's anything you're unsure on, then just let me know in class and I'll try and explain it a little bit differently.